This is yet another new Pittsburgh Courier exclusive. I'm Brian Cook, standing with the man himself, the legend, Smokin, Jim Frazier. This week, there's been a lot of news coming out of Pittsburgh with Ben Roethlisberger saying some incendiary remarks about some of his teammates, saying that Antonio Brown didn't hit the right route. That's the reason for the interception at the end of the Denver game. The Steelers ultimately lost that game. How do you feel about the leader of the team, making those types of remarks publicly? And does that break up a locker room in some respects?
Well, some teams is good, but I think it's bad for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I say it for this reason. Coach Mike Tomlin does a good job of addressing this team through the media. He does an excellent job, and you don't want to divide your locker room. The 85 Bears should have won a lot more Super Bowls than they did, but their locker room was divided, the coaching staff was divided, and I think you're seeing that in Jacksonville right now. So the Pittsburgh Steelers got to be very careful because right now, it's Super Bowl or bust, and if you got a divided locker room, it's going to be a bust.
Well, we did get a chance to speak with Ramon Foster about this, and here's what he had to say.
Just him coming out in public saying something like that it leads to a lot of different things. Number one, those would be the type of guys that have that type of conversation too, and secondly, I guess he's just putting everything on Front Street for people to be able to say, hey, they're not as perfect as we think they are, but they're gonna have a situation in the locker room where they have to deal with it. And Ben did that today. I know for sure he and AB and whoever else talked today. So that can turn into a good thing.
And despite all, just talk about, your team being just a band of brothers and how close-knit you are.
We are, and that's the thing about this locker room is it wants to be that way, and we try to keep it that way too. Football is a hard sport, and we're around each other more than we are in our families. So you kind of find that brotherhood in that, and that's kind of why it's the way it is.
All right, we hear from the source, they are a band of brothers. Do you see them still as a band of brothers? That locker room's not divided, is it?
You know what? They're a very, very close team, but still, no matter how close you are, when you have to answer questions about what your quarterback or other teammates said, and that's going to be a problem. And this is a team that's had some distractions all season long with Le'Veon Bell and Martavius Bryant and some other people. So,
all right, well, coming up on Sunday, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Los Angeles Chargers are going to meet face-to-face here at Heinz Field. We got a chance to speak with some players in the locker room about Phillip Rivers.
I mean, their offense is powerful. They have a lot of weapons. Definitely at that quarterback position. You saw last week he did some magical type things. He went 25 for 25, but we just got to come in with a chip on our shoulder again. We came off a loss. It's a must-win. It's just December football now, so we really got to go out and go get it. You got to step it up one more notch and just take it to him.
I mean, that's big. Just trying to get him off his mark. We know he's a very accurate quarterback. He gets the ball out quick, too, so we're just trying to disrupt him and make some things happen.
Do you think this defense can handle a high-powered offense like that? Phillip Rivers was near perfect, completely torched the Arizona Cardinals last week. Do you think that this secondary can handle that, or the front seven?
Well, one thing the team has proven is they can't handle a high-powered offense, and Phillip Rivers is doing a great job. You got big receivers.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen, 6'2", Mike Williams, who won the national championship in college, is 6'4". So that makes it tough already on a secondary that's very young. There's no Pro Bowlers in your secondary. There's only one Pro Bowler really on the football team. So, San Diego's going to make it hard for anybody.
Yeah, one of those receivers, if you will, would be Antonio Gates, of course, that big tight end.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, let me ask you this question. We've seen brothers play against each other, or maybe even play with each other in the league, but this weekend, two sets of brothers are going to be playing against each other. Mike Pouncey, offensive lineman from the Chargers, and Marquise Pouncey, of course, center of the Steelers. On the defensive side of the ball, you have linebacker T.J. Watt playing against his brother, Derek Watt. Have we ever seen two sets of brothers like that?
Well, I don't think so, especially two sets that are starters. The Pouncey brothers won national championships in high school and college, and maybe one of them will win the Super Bowl in the pros. But the only thing I see close to the Watt brothers, one on offense and one on defense, is maybe the Barber brothers, Tiki Barber and Rondé Barber.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. We caught up with T.J. Watt this week about playing against his brother. Now, again, we've seen some offensive players play. They didn't play against each other. T.J. and Derek will be playing on opposite sides of the ball. Here's what he had to say.
Each other. I've never tackled him, I don't think, other than backyard football, but I've definitely gone up against him a few times in practice at Wisconsin when he was a fullback trying to kick out the outside linebacker, and it's definitely a possibility. I already told him he better not cut me because I'm gonna judge his manhood if he goes down low on my knees. So, but I think it'll be really, really good competition.
Could you imagine hitting your own brother in a football game like that? Could you see that happen?
That would never happen. My mom would kill me.
All right. Well, the Steelers are 7-3-1. The Chargers are 8-3. Do you think that this is a preview of a potential postseason matchup?
I think so. You know, last year everybody talked about the New England Patriots and the Steelers playing each other in the playoffs to go to the Super Bowl, and that didn't materialize. I think this year you're going to see the Los Angeles Chargers coming back to Heinz Field as a wild card team in a wild card round and playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Should be a lot of fun. 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Absolutely. For Smokin' Jim Frazier, I'm Brian Cook, and this is another New Pittsburgh Courier exclusive powered by Goldenskymedia.